Marketplace is supported by Putnam Investments, where performance is driven by original fundamental research on a global scale. This is Putnam Today. Produced in association with the University of Southern California.
BP wants to deepen its partnerships with Middle Eastern countries, which has the U.S. government asking, wait, where does that leave oil spill victims in this country? From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Reputation Defender, protecting online privacy by monitoring the web and removing your personal data from websites that sell it. ReputationDefender.com/market. And by the Batten Institute, advancing knowledge about entrepreneurship and innovation at the University of Virginia's Darden School of Business. www.batteninstitute.org.
From the Frank Stanton Studios in Los Angeles, welcome to the show. I'm Bill Radke, in for Kai Ryssdal. It is Wednesday, July 7th. BP's chief executive, Tony Hayward, was in Abu Dhabi today, visiting the crown prince of that wealthy emirate. And you can understand why Hayward needs money. The company's cleanup costs for the Gulf oil spill are above $3 billion, and that doesn't count a $20 billion fund for damages. So Hayward is touring the Middle East and other places, asking rich countries to invest or keep investing. And apparently this is not just BP's problem. It turns out the U.S. Justice Department is also taking a special interest in these meetings, as Chrissy Clark reports.
In polite British fashion, Hayward left Abu Dhabi with a thank you. Right before boarding a plane, he told reporters he was delighted to meet with our long-term partners and friends. But analyst and oil expert Stephen Lieb says the underlying goal of Hayward's charm tour isn't good manners, it's good investors who could buy stock that's currently a bargain.
Tony Hayward is very, very interested, if not desperate, in getting an investor in British Petroleum for fear that it will be a takeover candidate if he doesn't find a major buyer of some stock.
Any investment could also help BP cover oil spill damages. That's a good thing. But there's a bad scenario, too, one that the Department of Justice has an interest in avoiding. Late last month, the DOJ demanded that BP let them know in advance about any plans of asset sales. The department did not return calls for comment, but their request to BP isn't a normal one. Then again, this isn't a normal situation, as Rachel Ziemba explains. She's an analyst at Rubini Global Economics.
They want to make sure that BP wouldn't restructure in such a way that it would try to avoid paying these claims and leave the federal government and the U.S. taxpayer to pay all the costs.
While that's a far-fetched scenario, analyst Stephen Lieb says it's not impossible, especially given the Mideast countries BP has been courting.
If the Saudis or Libya got 6 or 7% of BP and in exchange for that had board control of the company, that might be an issue. That really might be an issue because, they would have, reverse leverage against us because we really are dependent on their oil.
Meanwhile, the next stop on Tony Hayward's fire sale tour is Angola. I'm Chrissy Clark for Marketplace.
Today, President Obama appointed the man who will run Medicare and Medicaid, two of the biggest landmines in the federal budget. Now, normally the Senate would have to confirm the appointment, but when the president first nominated Donald Berwick back in April, Republicans blasted, some say distorted, Berwick's views on cutting health care costs. Clearly, he was not going to make it through a confirmation process, so today the president got around the Senate by using what's called a recess appointment. Marketplace's John Dimsdale says the challenge over Berwick's nomination is nothing compared to what he will face on the job.
Health reform counts on savings from Medicare and Medicaid. The new law offers incentives for hospitals and doctors to deliver better quality services more efficiently and punishes those that don't. Donald Berwick's appointment was praised by many in the healthcare industry, including Chip Kahn of the Federation of American Hospitals.
He's actually gotten into hospitals to improve care at the grassroots level. Don's been there, and Don's done it.
Berwick is a pediatrician, a Harvard professor, and heads a think tank dedicated to efficient healthcare delivery. His opponents in the Senate fear the only way he can cut costs is by rationing services to Medicare and Medicaid recipients. But Robert Berenson, a former Medicare/Medicaid official during the Clinton administration, says there are other ways to reduce costs.
There's just too many studies that show that there's wasted spending, that it wouldn't be rationing.